Live. Alrighty, let's see. Still got to get a link for YouTube and post it up on the Twitters. Let's see if it's there. And it's not. Of course it's not, because that would be freaking convenient now, wouldn't it? And unfortunately, where do most people find me? There we go. There we go. Okay. Copy link address. Put it in here. And post it. Let's post in a picture. Who the hell is this? Hello?
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 Good evening. My name is Mary. The new Trump administration has changed the Medicare policy.
No, they didn't, and I'm not old enough for Medicare, so go screw yourself. Okay, now we're posted up. Folks should be able to see what's up, see what's going on here. And we'll have folks trickle in too. I see got someone from Rumble. That's awesome. Couple from YouTube. Hey, Sarah. How are you doing today? I have apparently messed something up here. There we go. Live chat. Viewers. Donation banners. Everything's ready to go. All right, now we're set. I got to remember to turn that shit on. Okay? And yes, I am live. How are you doing, Sarah? And how is everybody else today in the wide, wonderful world of the internet? Oh my goodness. Let's see. Oh man. Family's talking about thermostat battles. I am doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. We're playing with the setup a little bit. I'm trying to find a happy medium. Find something that works. Preferably for everything. Right now, not so sure how I feel about this. But we get it. So what has been going on with everyone this week? It has been a weird one. In general, in the wide world of politics. Let's see. We've had assassinations, riots, and potential war. So, and it's just Wednesday. That's the thing to remember here, folks. It's only Wednesday. Holy shit. Oh, man. Enough to give you a warm, tingly feeling, ain't it? And we're going to talk about all that stuff here in a little bit. Figure I'll let word get around a little bit, see what's who all is going to come in, because last Wednesday was actually better than Friday, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm saying that a lot. Cut me some slack. It's been a long day. Yeah, right. I mean, it with everything that's going on, like when I first started, did my first live stream a couple weeks ago, it was Trump and Elon going at it. And it was weird. It was bizarre, but it was, okay. We don't usually have some whacked out gunman kill a state lawmaker and her husband, then try to kill another state lawmaker and his wife, go on the run. His wife gets caught with a large amount of cash and a firearm. He's eventually arrested. He and his wife live in a very large house on a nice big plot of land, and apparently he had a roommate who told the world all about him, and this dude works for Papa John's. Huh? What? To say that the sniff test is not successfully being passed on this is putting it mildly. I mean, it really is. It's just kind of bonkers, all things considered. I gotta see something here. You know, this camera is looking like shit on live stream. I do not know what the deal is. I'm gonna have to play around with this at some point. I appreciate everyone bearing with me as I'm kind of stumbling through this. Oh, and as for the assassination thing, I'm not saying it's bogus. I'm just saying it's weird. I mean, it could happen. It could be a case of dude, for all of his homicidal rages, is a loyal friend and let his buddy who's struggling, stay with him for however long. I don't know. It's freaking weird. And there's really not a place for that kind of thing. I mean, I've been, we're bitching about riots. Assassinations are probably worse. It's not as widespread, but it's, murder. It's murder. What else do you need to know? This is not what you need to do, people. Come on. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, but this is the dream. This is the world we're living in. The fact that this guy is reportedly on the right, not great, but no one's condoning it. No one's applauding him. So, it's automatically better off than the whole Luigi Mangione, where, you've got people like frickin' Taylor Lawrence swooning over Luigi. Oh, Luigi. Jesus Christ. Dude is a freaking idiot who, killed a guy. And yeah, I'm going to say he's an idiot because I am 99% certain the reason he used a 3D printed gun, despite the fact that he had no felony conviction, is he really thought gun tracing meant they would know who fired the gun. That's what I've been, knee deep in. 3D printing a suppressor makes sense. You do not need anyone knowing you've got something like that. If you're going to use it for, criminal purposes, I get you. I get it. But Luigi probably thought all the gun tracing stuff meant they would know who did it. So he printed a gun because the media told him it couldn't be traced. Not that it would have been traced anyways, because that's not how gun tracing works, even at the best of times. Anyways, I digress because it's a rambly day. I'm sorry. It's just that's the way I'm rolling today. But yeah, Sarah, it's far worse. I mean, I won't say there's never a time and a place for violence. There can be. The American Revolution is a prime example. If North Korea overthrew Kim Jong-un, totally justified. The Iranians overthrow the Islamic regime, totally justified. But this ain't it. And it's absolutely ridiculous. God, my nose is itching like crazy. It's absolutely ridiculous that it happened. And if he's guilty, I hope they throw the book at him because it needs to be. Okay. We'll see you in a sec, Sarah. 'Cause she's the talker. Oh, I do hope someday we start getting some kick coverage. They're I'm gonna have to actually go over to Kick though, because for whatever reason the chat does not update from there. So if you're on Kick, please bear with me. Wait, you can. Interesting. Yeah, poking around a little bit on this back end. It's. I'm not really sure how I feel about the Rumble back end. Very cool in a lot of ways, but very, very basic. And sometimes that's what you want. Sometimes it's, not. Let's see. Oh, this is going to be fun. I'm going to have some fun with that one here in a bit. Still trying to find some stuff. We're gonna react to some things when we get maybe a few more people in first. Just because, well, I want an audience. It's kind of the kind of the thing, right? So, I had to close some shit out because I've got some. Okay. So, I'm not meaning to be like that, guys. I'm not meaning to be so quiet. I do not know what's going on. I think we're going to go ahead and start looking at some videos here. And let's start with this one. Yeah, Democratic Rep Maxwell Frost says he wants amnesty for every single illegal alien in America. Now, this is one of the March for Our Lives crowd, if I remember right. One of the Florida, one of the Parkland, bunch, at least to some degree. He's definitely in with them. Let's see what he's got to say here.
And to my Republican colleagues who say, I don't want any undocumented people in this country, I actually agree with you. So let's document every single one of them with a speedy path to citizenship. That's how we fix this problem.
Well, that's retarded. Absolutely retarded. Someone underneath that posted a tweet that said, we tried that 40 years ago. And they're right. We did. We gave them amnesty. We said, hey, you guys who are here, you can stay. You're legal now. Everybody else, get the hell out. But now it's done. Your amnesty's done. Now we can, seal off the border. And more people came. And people have been here coming for 40 years. A lot of them hoping this would happen again. They want that amnesty so they can be in the United States legally. They don't have to sneak around, but they're not interested in being American because they didn't go through the process. The idea of amnesty doesn't give us anything. It gives them something, but it doesn't do any good for the rest of humanity, not the rest of the United States. And this is an American thing. I like immigrants, okay? I applaud people who want to come to this country lawfully and make a life for themselves. It's a great thing. It's what this country does. It's what we, to some degree, almost all of us come from somewhere else. And that is just it's amazing. Some of my dearest friends, people I consider family, are immigrants. But they all did it the right way. They went through all the right steps. They came here lawfully, legally, and it's kind of bullshit that they're now trying to reward people who just walked in. They just walked in. You know, Biden opened the freaking floodgates, let everybody pour over, and this is where we're at. You know, and now they're like, now Frost is sitting here going, we should document everyone, give them amnesty. For the record, this is the same dipshit who came up with the term zombie gun for guns that were disposed of at buybacks. They would destroy the receiver and sell the other parts. This is how they were doing it for free. He called them zombie guns, even though the gun part isn't there. Right? They're not, the gun is gone. These are all supplemental parts. They're used parts, which someone can then use to build a kit more affordably. Apparently that's a problem for someone like Frost, and he had to give it a stupid name like zombie gun, which honestly makes it sound, you know, I mean, granted, it makes it sound a little more retarded. Sounds like something you buy at a gas station, but, you know, Jesus Christ. So I'm not really shocked that he's saying something stupid once again. This time though, it's going too far. It really is. Frost is clearly retarded. Knew that already. He's just really kind of, you know, solidifying it for me. What else we got here? Let's see. Let's see what this call is, because if this is a scam, you guys get to have some fun with it. Hello.
Hi, thank you so much for taking my call. This is Sam. How are you today? So far, so good.
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for asking. This short call is regarding a car accident you had in the last couple of years. Do you remember any accident which happened in this year, last year?
Did I have any accidents? Well, I have accidents all the time.
Do you? Okay. So when did your car accident happen, sir? Like this year, last year?
I had one this year and last year.
This year and last year, you have both. You have two accidents, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the time of accident, sir, is that your fault or other person hit you?
I don't know. I don't remember.
You don't know why you don't remember that? So your accident happened and you didn't remember that?
Well, I hit my head.
They hit your head?
When in the accident, I hit my head. I don't really remember so well.
Okay. So, sir, in the time of accident, do you feel any minor pain like back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, head pain?
Yeah, all of that.
Like that. So, all of that.
Yeah.
Sir, the last thing from my side, sir, did you speak to any attorney or any lawyer about the car accident?
I don't think I did. I don't remember. I hit my head.
Okay, no problem, sir. No problem, sir. You will get some compensation money for a car accident. So let me transfer this call to one of my senior who will help you out, okay?
Okay. Yeah, that's boring. I got better things to do. It's annoying when they call, and I do like to fuck with them a little bit, but you know, there's a point where you just can't deal with them anymore, because I don't know, sometimes I'm in the right mood, sometimes I'm not. Oh, sorry. I just saw something that we're probably going to talk about here in a bit. Because so who else is in here? Let me hear from somebody. This works so much better if we're chatting a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying, Vern? Oh. Let's see. Oh, need to check email real quick because I got some work stuff. Oh, okay, good. All my pitches were accepted for tomorrow. Awesome. That means I can do some work and get paid because money is good. Money is nice because I have this addiction. I mean, the stuff I can't live without. It's called food and shelter. And for some reason, I need money for that. And, when somebody's like, well, with socialism, you don't need that. Yeah, you do, because you're not going to get food with socialism. Or if they say, with socialism, all that's provided. No, it's not. Too many socialist countries starve their people. Well, they call them socialists, but they're communists. And, because the difference is so minuscule, I don't feel like getting into it. So, all right. Let's look at some other stuff we got here, because I got some stuff. We gonna what do we want to talk about here? Yeah, let's poke at my Navy for a minute, because I am a Navy veteran. I'm damn proud of it. But yeah, I saw this and we gotta talk about it.
We are laser focused on our mission of warfighting.
Meanwhile, at the U.S. Navy.
Hey, keep it in the circus!
This place has gone way downhill. What do you say we go somewhere else?
That's a huge bitch!
I know what this is about, roughly. I saw the thumbnail, so I know what he's going to poke at.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. And as the world burns down around us, riots in the streets, Marines being deployed, Israel striking Iran, it seems like now more than ever, military fitness and readiness should be at the absolute forefront of the U.S. military.
Yeah,
however, the U.S. Navy is posting pictures like this, and it makes you wonder,
what the hell is even that?
What in the hell is going on? Now, we're going to talk about how do we even get to this point, what this really means, and there's going to be some nuance to this because I think you guys might be surprised at my opinion on this.
For the record, they're all members of MEAL Team 6. Seriously, there's a profound norm in the Navy where chiefs, especially, which is E7 and above, height weight standards go out the window. I had a chief that had a big bubble beer gut, and still somehow maxed out everything, because there's chiefs are usually the ones in charge of, the lower enlisted who do the PFT tests for the military or for the Navy, enlisted personnel. So they get a pass. They pass each other and make sure everything's copacetic, which is how you end up with someone who looks like that. Now, I am interested to see what his opinion is, because I know what my opinion is as a Navy veteran, and he says it's not what we expect. So let's see what he's got,
given how I typically am with military fitness and standards and whatnot. So let's jump into this. Let's talk about it. Let's diagnose it. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely helps the channel. Follow us on Patreon. Grab some merch. We got new summer merch coming. And yeah, let's jump into this and talk about what the hell this even is. So as far as I understand, this is a Navy Nuclear Submarine Officer Promotion Board. Okay. There's some context to this in the military. It's not just in the Navy. The Army is doing this with certain programs and MOSs, okay, cyber warfare, hacking, nuclear submarines, there's a movement towards removing physical fitness and height and weight standards for these specific MOSs. All right. We're going to talk about why here in a minute. But first thing I want to do is actually look at, I mean, what's life on a nuclear submarine actually like? I mean, I don't know. I've never been deployed on one. But I got to imagine they're not very big. Maybe it's hard to stay in shape. You know, maybe the food's not very good.
Actually, sub food is exquisite. My father-in-law was a bubblehead. That technically my wife's grandfather, but he was a bubblehead, and they ate really freaking well. And people didn't have a problem with height weight standards for years. And you know, truth be told, man, when you're on a sub, quarters are tight. They are tight, and you can't really build like that and you know, function on a sub. You're not going to be able to. Cyber warfare and things that are, you know, you're never going to have to move quickly. You're never going to have to be, you know, in a physically high stress environment. Totally cool with. That ain't the Navy. Okay, that ain't the Navy. Every sailor is a fireman. You know, every Marine's a rifleman. Every sailor is a fireman. They teach us, you know, basic firefighting in boot camp. You do not graduate without having fought fires. When you get deployed to your ship, you go through additional damage control training, and that is physically demanding. The idea that someone should let their fitness slack, and I'll say this is a fat boy now, but they should let their fitness slack because they're on a nuclear sub is, in my opinion, absolutely asinine.
So maybe there's some reasons for this. So we're going to watch a video from the U.S. Navy that showcases these Navy submarines and what life is like on board. And then we're going to talk about it and say, is this a good enough excuse? And what are my opinions on this, right? So first things first, let's watch this video.
We're a hidden moving missile silo, so that makes us a difficult target to want to attack.
Yep.
My job on board is to ensure that we can keep the seawater out of the people tank. Anything that involves high pressure air, anything that involves the reactor, that any maintenance done on that is done properly with the right levels of supervision. As
this is
officers
really
on board, there's
though.
only 14 of us typically. You're constantly in the spotlight.
I mean, it's just
your reputation.
All right, real quick. I don't see a single morbidly obese person yet in this entire video.
Oh, shit, right?
I mean, obviously this is kind of a small space. Could you fit a gym in here? I don't know. Maybe somebody that's been on a nuke submarine could tell us. Is there gyms? Is there treadmills? What's the food like? I don't know. But it seems like everybody here is doing just fine, staying in shape.
Will follow with you no matter where you are on the boat. Level of knowledge is huge for an officer. So if you take the time to study and you understand the intricacies of procedures, the sailors will look up to you and say, I can trust that he will be supervising me correctly. Honor, courage, commitment. You have the courage to take these vessels underwater for many months at a time. The highest integrity that they know that they'll come back to the surface. My advice for anybody wanting to join the Navy as officers is always take on the responsibilities, even if you don't want to.
Yeah.
It forced me to see what my potential was.
It's a completely different thing than what the picture was from.
All right. So like you said there, they deploy for months at a time. I think they're underwater for months at a time.
Yeah,
and again, I don't know what the real lifestyle is like down there. Is there a gym? It didn't look very big. And again, you got food that's basically being stored down there for months and months at a time. Probably, not the best food in the world. But let's talk about these new programs and again, cyber warfare and obviously in the Navy nuke program where, fitness standards are not really important. Okay. But before we do that, maybe what these sailors really needed was just some good pre-workout to get them motivated to work out on that sub so they could avoid being morbidly obese. And they could have done that with our partners at Tasty Gains pre-workout gummies.
All right, guys,
we're skipping that.
standards from these specific cyber warfare jobs.
Sorry, but I'm not getting paid for his sponsorship. I'm not putting that one in there. Sorry. I'm sure he's a great guy. I'm sure, he's a true believer or whatever. Just, I'm not doing it.
The idea being is the kids that are doing this, right, are not, typically the most physically fit lifestyle kids, right? They're staying up all night, drinking 4 or 5 energy drinks a night, not working out, to be able to get this good at the technical skill of hacking and cyber warfare and all these different things. Right? Okay. So the idea behind this is that, well, we would lose out on the capabilities, the mental capabilities of these soldiers if we had to force them to stay in shape. I know it's a tall ask to just be in general decent shape, but that's the way the U.S. military is looking at this. They're saying, would we rather lose all these, really bright, capable kids that we wouldn't have got otherwise? Or, is it better to have a physical fitness standard everybody must adhere to, and we lose all that talent, right? Maybe that's what's being said here on these Navy nuclear submarines. I'm telling you, though, this is a promotion board, okay? So this is the Navy saying, yes, we agree, great job. You should be a higher rank, right? So I'll tell you this, if you were never in the military, the way promotions work, physical fitness, height and weight is like top of the thing. It's the first thing they're going to look at. What is your PT test scores? What's your height and weight? Are you within standards? That's usually like the immediate disqualifier. If that's a no, you're just not getting promoted.
Navy tends to be a little different because of the nature of promotions in the Navy. You tend to, I'm not so sure about what it is for chiefs, but for junior enlisted, you go through a testing process based on your rating, your job, what would be an MOS somewhere else. You do that, you fill out that, you take your test, and where you score dictates a lot of that. And your PFT scores modify it. Your height, weight modifies it. But also, if you're above, if you're outside of regs in that for too long, they should be putting you out. It's not even a matter of leaving you, that you being unpromotable. It's you're gone. There is no way this Master Chief should have ever gotten to this point, because Jesus Christ, she's humongous.
Promoted, okay, at least in the combat arms MOS space. But here, obviously, because there is no way that is passing any PT test that exists in the military. I'm sorry, not trying to be rude, but my big thing has always been, and I'll give you my opinion on what I think in either way in a second, but my opinion has always been, you got to look the part in the uniform. Okay. I expect everybody to be decently physically fit, look professional. And when you are like morbidly obese, if you want to do that in your private life, you're a veteran, you're a civilian, whatever, that's your own life. But while you use that, wear that uniform, man, there's some standards to uphold to. Absolutely. And those standards have gone back hundreds of years. Okay. They shouldn't change. Now there's some nuance to this, and that's where I'm going to sort of probably surprise some people. All right. I don't want to say I think this is fine, but I think it's acceptable, okay, in specific MOSs. And when we're talking about these super high technical jobs, cyber warfare, nuclear submarines, I mean, how fit do you have to be to live in a submarine and operate those computers?
Okay. The problem is, she's got to navigate through the narrow passageways on a sub. They're not that big. I don't see how she gets anywhere, like, at all. It's absolutely mind-blowing to me. So I'm just going to call it there on that one, because there's just, I get where he's coming from, and I actually don't disagree. Some MOSs, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't freaking matter. But on others, it does. And onboard a sub in such tight confines. Let me take the hat off real quick. This thing is had to get beers. Good job. Beers are important. Beers matter. But no, it's like if you're 800 pounds and you're trying to navigate through a sub, you're not just sitting at a computer, right? Being a nuclear submariner, there's more to it. There's a certain amount of physical to the job. You have to respond to disasters. You have to respond to emergencies. Firefighting is a thing that you have to do, and you just continually not sure what happened to that one, but you're having to meet a standard. You're having to navigate through tight passageways. It's just I'm sorry, that doesn't fly for me. I can't get. There's some jobs, it doesn't matter. Cool. Be good to see him here. Get some conversational going, because I need that. Live streaming is so much easier when we're communicating. Because let's see what we got. Okay, that was something about woodworking, which does not need to be in here. What I've been doing a good chunk of the day was watching woodworking videos. I need to get back out into my shop and do some woodworking. Oh wow, I have a new message request from someone who is trying to peddle porn on freaking Facebook. Where else do I stream? I'm on Rumble and Kick. Those are the two places I am at the moment. Refuse to do Twitch. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent. Not at this juncture. It's not prudent. It's bad. You'd watch woodworking videos with me, huh? That's something I've actually thought about, like doing a live stream from, because I don't really have a shop per se. I'm just an awning in the backyard that provides, cover. And part of me's thought about like setting up my phone and live streaming while I'm working on wood, doing woodworking, building whatever, just, still talking about politics and culture and all that shit, but while building a piece of furniture, because sure, why not? It actually would probably make it a little more interesting in a lot of ways than me just sitting here. Because I can react to videos, but there's a certain amount, it feels weird reacting to what somebody else is saying. Sometimes, minute or two, I don't mind so much, but I don't see how like Asmongold and Tectone do that shit. For hours. I couldn't even do it, man. I just don't see how. You grew up woodworking. Okay, cool. I do mostly hand tool stuff just because it's quieter. And the tools, I bought vintage tools because they were cheaper, because I was perpetually broke. But I've done, I really enjoy it. I get this weird sense of peace when I'm building stuff. It's just, it's kind of hard to describe. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoy it. I need to get back out there. And like I said, I need to get back out there and building some stuff, because I could really use that. Well, great. It's raining out there. You might pick up the rain depending on how heavy it gets. It says expect light rain around 7 p.m. and I'm pretty sure I'm hearing it. Yep, definitely hearing it right now. Either that or someone's pissing on my roof, which I would hope that's not what's happening, because that would be awkward. Ooh, and it's 90 degrees outside. That's gonna suck. So what kind of stuff did your grandpa build, Sarah? Anything cool? World War II era hand tool. A lot of mine are from around that era or a little earlier. Stanley planes, distance saws. It's in that same category. Hold on a second. I gotta adjust the chair a bit. 111 no rain. Is it humid or dry? Because 111 dry feels different than 111 humid. They both suck, but one sucks less. Hold on, let me see what this is. Hello? Hello? No one to fuck with. Okay, yard. Yeah, I've done Arizona. I've actually done 111 in Arizona, and it's hot. It ain't fun, but I'll take 111 in Arizona over 100 in Georgia, because when you actually get into the shade in Arizona, it's cooler. It's just, it's weird. It's when you grow up used to, well, it's this in the shade, and you're like, and you're like, that doesn't actually mean all that much. And you go someplace where you lose 10, 20 degrees going to the shade. And dude, Adobe, that's the shit there. You go into an Adobe house in Arizona or New Mexico, and it's like central air. We can't use that here though, because rain destroys Adobe. Yay! Oh, God. Oh, man. Buddy of mine lost one of his horses. Pretty horse, too. Almost like Dalmatian coloring. Hey, Matt. Glad you made it. Fighting traffic all day is really up there on the list of shit I don't want to do. I am doing good because I haven't been dealing with traffic. That's a win. I've been trying to actually chill most of the day because the goddamn world is insane. Absolutely bonkers. It's like, finding out, hey, turns out China tried to steal the election. Then we find out, hey, the FBI knew about it and not only didn't do anything, they seem maybe tried to help cover it up. Yeah, that does suck, sir. He and I are both into medieval stuff, and his horses, he does like jousting stuff sometimes. And so horses are important to him. And this one he had, In his life for 14 years, his wife had had for 27. I didn't know horses got that old. Especially New York. Ooh, New York City traffic. Ugh. That sounds awful. That sounds absolutely terrible. I do not envy you that in the least. Because, oh my God, I don't even like traffic in my town, and it's like, I don't know, 100 times less. You know, New York's got something like 100 times more people than we do. Yeah, something like that. I think. Oh no, more like 130 times more people than we do. So yeah. Yeah, sir, that is pretty cool. I don't do the horse stuff. I'll put on armor. I'll hit people with swords and spears and shit like that, and teach it even. But horses, I have never ridden a horse. My mom got thrown from one before I was born and didn't get back on the horse. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Ugh. An hour and a half to go 5 miles. That sucks. I've been stuck in traffic like that briefly. And that was just a weird thing. So yeah, awful would definitely sound like an improvement. Oh God. This is why I like the rural areas better. I just oh oh man, I had a buddy go up there a couple weeks ago to pick up some stuff. I didn't envy him then. Now I envy him even less because, oh God, that sounds awful. Actually, yeah, you're right. Awful would be an improvement. There's really, I don't think the English language has a word to describe the soul-sucking, suck of something like that. That's my take. Let's see what's going on. Got to keep up, make sure we haven't, bombed Iran again, or today. Israel's bombing them. I expect we'll bomb them anytime in the next couple of days. Oh, what else? I get it, man. I would not ever go to New York City and drive. I might have to go to New York City for some reason, but it's one of the few places I would prefer to fly in and then have somebody else do all the driving. That way I could just be on my phone and oblivious. Oh man, I hate it for you, brother. I really do. There's no way I want to go through anything like that. Because, and there's another problem with New York City other than the traffic. And that is, it's full of New Yorkers. That's a big problem to me. Hold on. Okay. But just so many of them are such absolute dicks. Not all of them. I've known some that are, I've got friends that are from New York City, different boroughs. But There, you know, there's, yeah, I like I say, no way I would try to drive in the Big Apple. I don't even like driving in Atlanta. And once you get off the interstates or the main drags in Atlanta, it's not that bad, but you've got to get to that point. New York, there's no way I would do it. I would just, I would rather have to sit and watch The View, unironically, than have to deal with New York City traffic as a driver. And that's saying something, because I've talked about, you know, pulling a Kurt Cobain if I had to watch The View. And one of the great things about having a relatively small stream right now is that I can make jokes like that and not get shut down by everywhere. Yay! Food's coming up soon. We tried to order food. We ordered it like 4. And I was like, yeah, it should be here in time. And I eat pretty quick. And my wife hits me up at like 4:30. It's like, yeah, food will be here at 5:45. And I'm like, son of a bitch. Oh, and it's good. Olive Garden. I mean, it's not like the greatest thing, but this right here, this is the mantra. This is what everyone needs to understand about New York City. Because yeah, that's what I've seen. You know, and that's somebody who's not really spent a lot of time in New York City. I drove in for New Year's Eve. I didn't drive. Someone else drove. I was in the back seat sleeping. Did the whole ball drop in Times Square, got back in the car, went back to sleep, and came home. And I was in Virginia at the time, so it wasn't that awful of a drive. But Seattle and Portland are the same way with about the people. Doesn't surprise me. Atlanta can be the same way. When I was up there for the NRA annual meeting, it was really kind of hard not to see that same thing. Especially the guys, you know, who were, well, let's put it this way. I did an interview with a buddy of mine. His name's Charlie. He has a channel called Riding Shotgun with Charlie. And what he does is it's basically comedians in cars getting coffee, but it's about like gun rights people. So we're driving around Atlanta at the NRA annual meeting. It's Sunday. I've already packed up. We're going to do the interview. I'm going to go upstairs, get my stuff, check out, and I'm gone. So, but it's Sunday morning. We're driving around, and he's got like 3 cameras inside the car and a camera on the hood recording, you know, the route we're going. And we come around this corner, and there's this homeless dude taking a piss on a statue in downtown Atlanta. And I'm like, I thought I was in San Francisco for a minute. It was great. There's a homeless guy sleeping just down from my hotel. That was fun, especially because I was walking to a shuttle to get to the World Congress Center where the annual meeting was, which meant I'm walking by all these homeless people. Thank God I was armed, because you never really know when one of those people are going to, you know, go off. It may be rare, but it only takes one. I'm in Georgia. I remember when the homeless dude tripped out on bath salts and ate a dude's face. I don't really want to be the next story like that, you know? Sorry about that. And Seattle and Portland being the same way is about as shocking as, you know, oh God. About as shocking as finding out Brandon Herrera has guns. Let's just put it that way. Let's see. I cannot. Now, in fairness, I'm not 100% sure the dude we saw was pissing. It might have been, he might have been jerking off. It wasn't on the side of the freeway though, so that's a little different. Yes, Seattle is different. I do need to go there at some point. I kind of have to make a sort of a pilgrimage, I guess you could say, to the site of what used to be the Cafe Racer. There was a mass shooting there more than a few years ago that claimed the life of a very dear friend. She was living in Seattle. Absolutely, she loved it. She absolutely loved the city. And then she gets killed by a maniac who got really pissed off that he couldn't get a cup of coffee. So I'd need to go up there and just go there. Take some flowers, leave them there. Don't explain it to anybody. Hopefully she'll know. But damn. I'm not actually surprised Seattle's like this. Yeah. The dude eating I really thought we were, I was like, so this is how the zombie apocalypse starts. This is what happens. This is where we go from here. Okay, we'll do. We get to that point, I'll definitely, reach out and holler. It's one of those things, it's this vague thing in the background that, yeah, I definitely want to, go and do. But whatever. I haven't really gotten to the point of, yeah, we're going to plan this trip out. When I do, I'll let you know, because, yeah, there's some stuff I want to see, some of the touristy shit, but I don't really, I don't really want to experience the city that way. There's every city's got those areas where you just don't want to be, and there's always those cool places that locals know that tourists never hear about. That's a shame. That's really a shame. So I kind of want to hit that sweet spot if at all possible. So I'll definitely do that. Oh, the thing is, I love the concept of the Pacific Northwest. I love that rainy weather, and that far north, it's not going to be as hot as South Georgia. Close enough to the coast, you don't really have to deal with that, a lot of that stuff. And that part of the country, even on the coast, you don't get the hurricanes like we do over here. But damn, I'm sick of seeing that the Pacific Northwest go to shit with the politics. Place you warn me away from too. Good. I'm gonna need those, because you don't know an area is a bad part of town unless you're either there or there's a street running through it that's Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Every city has an MLK, and for some reason they are all in the shitty parts of town. Always. Yeah, not really the greatest legacy for the man. You know what I'm saying? And I love to tell you this, like, well, there's a reason for that. And there probably is. I, honest to God, don't know exactly why that is. I've got some theories, but I don't have enough to go on, and I'm not going to talk out of my ass on that. I'll talk out of my ass on plenty of other things. I don't actually mind You know, oh God. So a buddy of mine got one of those bug assault guns, you know, where it like shoots bugs with, you pump it up like you do a super soaker and it shoots salt at like flies and shit. And he's like, you know, you need to get one of these things. It's near about more fun than stealing watermelons, which, you know, down here means it's pretty damn fun. And considering I freaking hate flies, had one flying through here on Friday and it annoyed the shit out of me. I'd have loved to have pulled one of those and just popped it. With my luck, though, I managed to scratch the freaking lens to my camera. Oh. Let's see. What do we got? Trying to find something interesting to talk about because you know, I do not have a problem blasting angry metal or backwoods hit country. And the great thing is in a lot of parts of a lot of urban areas, any country is considered backwoods hit country. So I don't even have to be that picky about it. And angry metal, especially if you just got to, yeah, can always do that. Solid advice, Matt. Solid advice. Well done. Definitely going to have to internalize that because, you know, you know, I would go with the 44 mag. Because I mean, it's bugs. Unless you're dealing with like the bugs from Starship Troopers, the 44 mag is probably about right. I know down here sometimes the mosquitoes you might need the rifle for, but for most of them, 44 mag will cover it. In my professional opinion. Let's see. Yeah, okay, I don't care. Oh, I hate it when I think you're about to get a story. Yeah, and it turns out it's absolute bullshit. Yeah, we're going to talk about this real quick. So check this shit out, guys. It says it's unacceptable for policing to look like this in America. This should both frighten and outrage anyone who wants the U.S. to remain a free society. And here's the kick in the ass. I agree. I actually agree. But not for the reasons he probably thinks. Because this dude, Ramez Nam, he's a climate and clean energy investor, which tells you all you really need to know about his politics. But the reason those guys are dressed like that, the reason they have their heads covered and all that stuff isn't because, you know, they're doing anything underhanded. It's that them just doing their job as the law dictates is grounds enough for some of these dipshits to want to dox them, harass their families, threaten them, possibly harm them or their loved ones. I don't blame them for wearing fucking masks. I don't. And truth be told, if anybody else, you know, if they're doing any undercover work, this makes sense anyways. Cops have been doing that for years when they do undercover work. It's just kind of how it freaking goes. If we're going to be a free society, we shouldn't have to worry about whether our police officers are going to get doxxed for doing their job. Okay? We shouldn't have to worry about activists putting their name and their face and their address and phone number on social media for millions of whacked out people to take and do whatever the fuck they want to do with it. Like, Jesus Christ. But that's where we're at. So they have to do this, and this is supposedly a problem. So, you know, dude needs to get fucked. Let's... Ugh. You know, it's funny. As weird as the week has been politically, yes, they do. Drug cartels, not just ICE, but also the DEA. That's not a uncommon thing at all. And not just the undercovers, right? It's even, you know, agents who are just part of the tactical teams can very easily have that. And they, you know, target these guys and off them. And, which Ninth Circuit were you watching? Is that what do we got with the Ninth Circuit? I'm trying to remember. First, I'm just going to say, anytime a California lawyer gets eaten alive, it's a good day. Is that the National Guard thing? I am doing swimmingly for what it's worth because, you know, hey, I'm here. Oh. Trump v. Newscomb. That was not what I was trying to do there. I mean, really, it's that whole thing is absolutely bonkers. The National Guard does not solely answer to a governor. Yes, governors can call them up in states of emergency, but the president can do that too. And they do. We had 20 years of warfare where the National Guard got called up regularly to go and deploy to combat zones. There's no reason they cannot be deployed domestically for those purposes. And yeah, the district court judge was completely out of line. And I think he's going to lose out. Oh, I don't think Iran's going to back down. They're not really great at that. They're talking a lot of shit Of course, that's normal for Iran. They'll even when they're backing down, they're talking shit. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some iron, as you put it, dropped, possibly by us and Israel. The way things are going, I'm pretty sure we're going to have some airstrikes at some point. A lot of people were talking about, oh, it's another forever war. No, it's not. This isn't the same Iran it's not the same Iran that we got proportional with before, but it's not that different. So, we'll I think we would probably have to do some airstrikes and knock them back and let them know we were serious. But, I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to not have to risk American lives. No, they don't. National Guard was called out plenty of times. Governors do not get to say, nope, can't do it. The thing is, California's got something called a State Guard. The California State Guard is basically a state-only National Guard. A lot of states have it. Georgia's got Georgia State Defense Force. Other states have other versions. That the president cannot call up. They answer only to the governor. And a lot of states are not even armed. And California actually does something really interesting with theirs. They integrate it heavily with the National Guard. No, that's New York. Okay, never mind. But like some state guards are, integrated pretty heavily. It would be different if Trump tried to order them out. That is weird. YouTube's usually pretty good about that. Yeah, we came so close to seeing that a few years back, and it was kind of like me in Hong Kong. I'm trying to figure out how to run guns to these people because I don't like the mullahs. It works. That one works at least. But yeah, let's see. Governors don't get a veto. And yeah, Iran, I really want them I want regime change. I just want the right kind of regime change. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. They have a Napoleon. They're a regional power who thinks they're a superpower. They're a big deal in the Middle East. Their neighbors have concerns about them. When Iraq was still under Saddam, there was enough of a check on them that people didn't worry as much about Iran possibly messing with their shit. Saddam needed to go for other reasons, but that was one thing he could do was be scary. He could be scary enough that Iran kind of kept some stuff in check. He was another regional power. Nobody else there is willing to flex like they are. And so they got it in their head, I think, that they can project this throughout the world. That they may not be able to deploy, but that they can go toe-to-toe with someone like us. And the only reason they might be able to pull something like that off is if we rolled in, toppled the government, and then tried to build what we think they should have. If we just freaking laid waste and looked at everyone else and said, you let us know what we need. We got you back, but this is on you. Might go a little different. But they think they're a bigger fish than they actually are. And really, something Americans really don't understand is how much of the rest of the world puts credit in saving face. They can't be seen to back down. They cannot be seen to appear weak or anything like that. They have to, be, everything is about their appearance. They would rather things look good than be good, right? You could have somebody here who has a car who looks like that looks like an absolute beater. But if you pop that engine and it is pristine, everything is good to go, because the guy who owns it was like, this is what matters. It does what it's supposed to do. We can get behind that. We can kind of respect that. But we're not that worried about it. We're not as worried about appearance, except that, where it corresponds to us being respected for our abilities. A lot of other people, they just want to look like they are competent, whether they are or not. They don't mind. Yeah, to a certain degree, it is, who has the bigger whatever. That's part of it. But it's also, if we placated them, they would love us, right? If we let them, you guys are fantastic. We respect Iran. We love the Iranian government. If we played that, they would love us. They would absolutely love it. It wouldn't matter if it was all bullshit, as long as we said the right things and put out the appearance that this was true. That's what they're worried about. But it also means that when we push them in a corner, they can't afford to back down. They can't go, okay, maybe we overstepped. And so they're going to try to flex, and we're probably going to have to put warheads on foreheads. Luckily, we can do that with like tomahawks. Iran can't do shit against them. They can fly in low enough that radar's not even going to pick them up until we blow the shit out of it. Or we can, put up B-52s and just drop whatever the hell we want. We could glass the entire country. I don't even know how much of the Iranian Air Force is left. So they've got approximately 343 aircraft. But how many have gotten? Let's see. Well, the fact remains that they've got freaking air. Israel's got air superiority. But on the same token, the let me see, when was this one? Yeah, the newest fighters they even had were the MiG-29s, which came out in 1983. So pretty much everything they've got is ancient. They're freaking still flying F-4s, for God's sake. Now, don't get me wrong. I have a certain affection for the F-4 Phantom. But it's just, they never had anything that can match. Even our third gen fighters, right? We could lay waste to that with F-15s. We could lay waste. Was it fourth gen? I don't know. The F-15 would freaking lay waste to it. The F-16s would lay waste to it. If we still had the F-14s, they would lay waste to it. Even though they've got F-14s, or had F-14s. Yeah, we might get an F-14 versus F-22 dogfight. I don't think it would last long. Because Maverick's not flying the F-14. It's the only way. It's the only way F-14 is going up against 5th gen. Yes, I want to see the kid get an intercept. One of my favorite stories, though, is the F-22 essentially getting an intercept, just not being able to shoot them down. When an F-22 popped up beside an F-4, or, flight of F-4s, and was like, y'all should go home now. Because they were, Iran was trying to get a Froggy, and it was like, you're in the wrong league, kid. That was freaking amazing. But yeah, we could do whatever we want. Even if Israel didn't have air superiority, we would have air superiority in about 8 seconds. And Israel already has it. So if we roll in, there ain't shit they can do. Dude. Oh yeah, we also got to remember that a lot of the aircraft they've got are also, not well maintained. So I don't even know if the MiG-29s are airworthy right now. It's they want so bad to be a world power, and they don't understand what it takes. They don't. And it's funny when they unveil, new aircraft, or new, new weapon systems, because yes, they are, we have developed this new fighter, and it never, never actually gets deployed. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely, that's what the Israelis are using. It's the only thing we've got that they're not using are the 22s. And, like HLC points out in his videos, those aren't going anywhere. We are not sharing those. They're too terrifying for anyone but us. Because I love the 35s. As a Navy guy, that's the Navy plane. But it's not. They're kicking the ever-loving shit out of Iran. And it's funny. Every time anyone tangles with Iran or tangles with Israel, Israel kicks the ever-loving shit out of them. And then they go back to talking shit like they didn't just get their ass handed to them. Like, guys, seriously, what the fuck? Yeah, I'm not putting that on stream. Jesus. It's a traditional African pageant. It's like a beauty pageant from a tribe in South Africa. But they're topless. So, boobies. And I don't think I can convince YouTube that this is nature. So I will not put that on stream. I'll watch it later. Probably around the time I'm watching woodworking videos, because yeah. Oh, those of you who might have been following the Karen Reed trial, she was acquitted on murder and manslaughter. Looks like she got a DUI. But let me look at the article. I've got to. Told me to disable my ad blocker, and I don't want to. Yes, all but the least serious offense. Yeah. Operating under the influence of liquor, so DUI. Which, I mean, not great, but DUI rarely sees jail time for a first time offense. Yeah, she's probably gonna get probation or some shit. Considering the shit I heard about the sketchy shit the cops did, that is probably for the best. Oh. Let's see. Anything else new and interesting? MAGA voters overwhelmingly support U.S. strikes on Iranian military poll. Yeah, I could see it. I don't want to get engaged, Yeah, I wasn't following the trial, so I can't say anything definitive about it. But let's see. I mean, considering what she was looking at, she was looking at life in prison, and now she gets her license suspended. Because the prosecutor recommended she be required to complete the state's 24D program, which includes outpatient treatment, license, and probation, a sentence that is standard for first-time drunk driving convictions in Massachusetts. Considering what she was up against, why was I blurry? I believe you. I just don't know what the hell's going on. Let's try something real quick. Like I said, I haven't been following the trial. I've heard others say there's like some hinky shit going on with the investigation. If she's guilty, she needs to be under the jail. If she's, this was something else, then this is probably fair. But I know a lot of people have been following it, and if the hinky shit happened and she was still guilty, this is why cops need to do everything right. Because last thing you need to do is let someone guilty go free because you couldn't get your shit straight. I don't know if it's the weather making me blur. It looks like when I'm clicking on another tab, that's making me blurry. Because, all right, I'm going to other tab now. All right. I am on another tab, and I'm clicking back now. And when I click back, the image shifts somehow. So I don't know what's going on. I'm at a loss. This shouldn't matter, but this might be a software thing on this end. Let me see something. I'm going to try something else here real quick and go to Discord, see if it's just a... maybe? I don't know. Oh, it doesn't look like weather because whatever rain we had is gone now. We got more coming. It says 44 minutes, which I will be eating lasagna and chicken parmesan by then. Because yeah, let me know. We'll see what we can do. Depending on how long the video is, we may do some reaction. That'd be cool. And if not, I'll definitely check it out anyways. Just like I say, let me know. We will I'll play around and see if there's a way to pin it or something. Because yeah, I can pin something. It looks like maybe I'm playing here. I don't really know I don't know what I'm doing here. Cut me some slack. But we'll do something. We'll definitely we'll definitely make sure to give, show Matt some support. You got any support, I'm going to return the favor. Oh. Still want to see what we got here on Twitter. Maybe find something interesting to talk about. Okay, tell you what. We're going to react to something Asmongold did because that amuses me. It'll be a Sunday or a Thursday, 9 p.m. East Coast. Okay, cool. Well, probably won't be watching live because I'm up stupid early in the morning, but we'll definitely show it some love. So we've got Asmongold reacting to Arnold Schwarzenegger smacking down The View.
Let me go back. Watch this. So this is Arnold Schwarzenegger talking about the immigration thing. All right, let's see what he says.
If you are an immigrant, you're an immigrant in this country. Did you have a visceral reaction to what they're doing, what he's doing when you see the videos of it?
Well, I tell you, you said that the immigrant, I'm so proud and happy that I was embraced by the American people like that. I mean, imagine they came over here with the age of 21, with absolutely nothing. And then to create a career like that. I mean, in no other country in the world could you do that. Every single thing, if it's my bodybuilding career, if it's my acting career, becoming governor, the beautiful family that created, all of this is...
People forget about Arnold Schwarzenegger being the governor of California.
Because of America.
Little side...
Yeah, and he came here legally, which is the difference that Joyless Behar cannot seem to wrap her two brain cells around. Know what I'm saying?
Quest. And so this is why I'm so happy to see firsthand that this is the greatest country in the world.
Damn right.
And it is the land of opportunity. And I think because I'm such a proud American, proud immigrant, but the key thing also is at the same time that we got to do things legal.
They're not gonna like that. Oh, uh-oh.
That is the important thing, you know. So you got to do things legal, and those people that are doing illegal things in America, they are not smart.
Yeah, I fucking agree.
Because when you come to America, you're a guest. You have to behave like a guest. Like when I go to someone's house and I'm a guest, then I will do everything.
You don't. Whenever you go to somebody's house, you don't go in their garage and light their car on fire. You don't do that. That's rude.
Keep things clean.
Yeah. Rude is putting it mildly, as.
And to make my bed and to do everything that is the right thing to do, rather than committing a crime or being abusive or something like that. The important thing is when you become an immigrant, to think about, okay, I go to America because I want to use America.
Y'all saw Sonny's hand on his arm, like, you know, Arnold, shut up, man. Please shut up.
But the great opportunities that America has. Then you have to think about, okay, if I get all of those things from America,
what am I going to give
I have to give something back.
Yeah.
Now, you have a responsibility as an immigrant to give back to America and to go and do something for your community, to make this country a better place.
Yeah, but first time they were quiet, and you can see how he got them to quiet down. At the beginning, he baited them along.
But the key thing also is at the same.
Here we go.
That we got to do things legal. That is the important thing, you know. So you got to do things legal, and those people that are doing illegal things in America, and
you can see they tried to interrupt them. They tried to stop him from saying anything after that. What? What do you mean? What do you mean legal?
That was freaking great. Oh man. And yeah, Matt, you're right. He is right. This was, I mean, the problem is the left keeps trying to conflate immigrant with illegal immigrant because they can make you look xenophobic by saying you hate immigrants when they cannot, or it's not they cannot, they will not acknowledge there is a difference between coming here lawfully and coming here unlawfully. It's like I don't know if any of y'all were here when I had played the Maxwell Frost video earlier, when he wants to give all the illegals amnesty. Let's make them all legal. That's as close as you're going to get to them acknowledging that there is a difference. But that's only so he can try to somehow legalize them, because where did they settle? Right? Where are they? They're in California, Arizona, New Mexico, states that are purple to blue here lately. They want those numbers. They want them to be there because it's better for them from a census standpoint and a representation standpoint. You get rid of the illegals, right? And suddenly the population drops to a point they lose some representation. They lose blue representation because a lot of these illegals are settling in cities where they can blend, where they have sanctuary policies in place. And then they spin it to just be immigrants because nobody wants to be anti-immigrant. Immigrants are such a part of the fabric of this country. And so, yeah, you're not going to get that. They're not comprehending it. And Arnold played them because he started talking about, how great America is, and as an immigrant and all these amazing things. And they were absolutely certain he was going to come down on their side. This right here. Every legal immigrant I know, everyone feels the exact same way as your dad, Matt. Every one of them. Because it's, how can you not get absolutely pissed? Okay, yeah, Arizona did go pretty red. I stand corrected on that. But how can you not get furious knowing you went through all of these steps to come into this country, the greatest country on earth, lawfully. A country so amazing, people literally risk their lives to come to. You do all this, and you go through every step so you can do it within the confines of the country you want desperately to live in. And you get there, and these other motherfuckers just waltz on in and are like, hey, we're good. We should be allowed to stay. No, that's no one's. Of course, they're going to be pissed. It's like squatters. I mean, the fact that so many of the squatters we've been hearing about are illegals who are moving into the homes of law-abiding citizens is kind of telling in a lot of ways, because it's the same thing. They don't see any problem with just waltzing in and taking, making themselves at home without giving a shit. They don't mind just waltzing in someplace acting like they own it when lawfully they have no business there. They do it with our country. They're doing it with people's homes. It's asinine that anybody is standing up for this shit. It is. Right? And it's not even I think they should be deported, but this is how we should do it. I may disagree with it, but at least I can accept the underlying premise. We agree this is an issue and it needs to be addressed. Let's just let them all live here legally. We did that. We did it, and it didn't put an end to it. It ramped back up. It ramped back up, and we're right back here. And in another 30 to 40 years, we're going to have that same fucking conversation, because Jesus Christ, it's bullshit. And I don't really know what to say about it. I just... Too many people have given up everything and worked so hard to become American. They took every step they could. They came here lawfully. Matt, like your dad, they enlist in the military. Know another guy. He is an immigrant from England. Served in both the Army and the Air Force. Decided this is my country. I will serve it. I will put my life on the line to defend it. Yeah. Yes, sir. I don't blame you. I do not blame you, because if someone comes in, that's a different story. If you're there, it's a different story. If they just waltz in and decide they live there, you can't kick them out in so many places. It created this whole system for good reason. It's just so people couldn't be evicted out of the blue for no reason. But these people have no right in these people's homes. And it's like my wife keeps hearing these stories and she gets terrified about us going on vacation and coming back and our house being stolen from us. It's idiotic. I would love to tell you that we don't need to worry, that this isn't a big deal, and we'll get it under control. But what we're seeing is something different. Castle Doctrine, stand your ground. Yeah, that's. I seem to remember that being the law there. And yeah, absolutely. You know, Castle Doctrine, your home is your castle, defend it. Anybody comes in the house, they deserve the bad time they're going to get. They're asking for it, you know. And it's sad that we have to have laws like that. Both from the concept that it will be, someone might try to prosecute you, but that you got to feel like you need to sleep on your couch with a gun in, you know, gun almost in hand, just in case somebody decides they're going to move into your home. It paint mist. Yep. You know, there's a part of me that's like, I don't even want to clean up the mess. I want it to serve as a warning to the next guy. Probably not the most, you know, mentally healthy view of things, but then again, I'm not a mentally healthy kind of guy. You know, let's see where we at. The last video, I don't know if, I hope everyone saw that one. Because I was kind of proud of that one. Let's see. 1,665. Decent watch hours. Click-through rate. That's ticking up a little bit. But this is a Buffalo story because they've finally picked fair enough. Okay, so maybe I'm not that out. I'm a firm believer in heads on pikes as a warning. I would literally do that if I could get away with it with anyone who tried to come in my home. And yes, as a warning to others. And if somebody's like, you know, well, that deteriorates property values. Yeah, and guess what? If I'd been murdered in my home, that would have deteriorated property values too. So I don't care. I think not enough people really understand the ramifications of their actions. So taking an opportunity to make it poignant to them, that if they decide they want to fuck around, I am more than willing to provide the find out for them. And yeah, don't really feel bad about it. It's a shame that we have to live in a world like that, but we do, and I'm heavily armed. I'm heavily armed. I have trust issues, you know, and a profound love of my family. That's going to make things, that's going to be an interesting recipe for some poor bastard. Oh, I missed that Jay was heading to a scout meeting. Hate that because, you know, I would have told him bye. I was looking away. Dang it. But yeah. Let's see. Wait, did he really? So JD Vance apparently started a Blue Sky account. And it was like, hello, Blue Sky. I've been told this app has become the place to go for common sense political discussions and analysis. So I'm thrilled to be here to engage with all of you. Let's see. To that end, I found Justice Thomas's concurrence on medical care for transgender youth quite illuminating. He argues that many of our so-called experts have used bad arguments and substandard science to push experimental therapies on our youth. Might add that many of these scientists are receiving substantial resources from Big Pharma to push medicine on kids. What do you think? A few minutes later, his account was suspended. Vance, my boy, that was freaking amazing. That was glorious. I love it. I love every minute of that shit. Oh, that's trolling done well, because you can see what he said. It is open for discourse. And rather than engage him, they suspend him. The Vice President of the United States was suspended from a social media platform for espousing an argument that is not unheard of on the right. And Blue Sky wonders why their social media site is in the fucking toilet. You can't make this shit up. I gotta share this. So that is that's some chef kiss shit there, right there, man. I'm telling you. Oh, what did he say again? Okay, it was a series of posts. First one is like, "Hello, Blue Sky. I've been told this is the app to come. This app has become the place to go for common sense political discussion and analysis. So I'm thrilled to be here to engage with all of you." And he's got a screenshot from. Well, hold on. I can do something better than just read it to you. But yeah, it's like, there's the Hello Blue Sky. I've been told this app has become the place to go for common sense political discussion and analysis. I'm so thrilled to be here to engage with all of you. And this is from Justice Thomas's concurrence that he talks about later. To that end, I found Justice Thomas's concurrence on medical care for transgender youth quite illuminating. He argues that many of our so-called experts have used bad arguments and substandard science to push experimental therapies on our youth. I might add that many of those scientists are receiving substantial resources from Big Pharma to push these medicines on kids. What do you think? A few minutes later, Vice President JD Vance's account on Blue Sky suspended. Oh my God. I'm sorry, but that's just the funniest damn shit. It's not an unreasonable position. Okay? I get that a lot of people on the left don't agree with it, but it makes it really clear that the people on Blue Sky can't handle disagreement or debate. He went there saying, "Hey, I heard this is a place to get reasoned discourse on politics." And he gets suspended for a very reasonable opening salvo, I guess, in a discussion about the Supreme Court's ruling on medical care for transgender youth. It seems completely reasonable to say, hey, What do you think? And they suspended his account. The vice president of the United States got his account suspended. Not because of the way Trump talks. Like, Trump says some shit, right? Trump says some shit. Usually it's nothing worth getting suspended for, but it's enough that you're looking at it going, you're trying to stir up some shit. Vance posted something so freaking reasonable and arguably, not even really arguably, I mean, it's very open. Hey, let's talk. What do you think? And they couldn't fucking handle it. Just perfect. Absolutely perfect. I don't think I could have found a better way to end this stream than that right there, because that's goddamn art. That's art, ladies and gentlemen. And I absolutely love it. So I am getting very, very hungry. My food is cold. It's going to have to be heated up, which means my chicken parmesan will not be as crispy as I like, but that is fine because I got to spend it with you lovely people. I'm going to wrap this one up. I will be back live streaming Friday from, what time do I know? Is it like 5 to 8, 6 to 9? Probably 6 to 9. You know, that's a very reasonable take. That's the way it used to be. That's I if someone does all this stuff, you know, and they're like, I've gone through this. I made sure it wasn't because of autism or you know, or PTSD or something else. And it's like, no, gender dysphoria is still there. Okay. It's the only way we know how to treat that. That's reasonable. The whole idea that, you know, we should just ignore everything is asinine. Well, yeah, it's blue sky. It's the woke trolls who bullied everybody on Twitter for so long, only to find out that Elon wasn't going to play their game. They went and formed their own little social media site that's drying up and dying, and nobody fucking wants to go there. JD goes over and, like you say, is, you know, worded well to provoke a reasonable conversation, open up a dialogue with people who don't agree with him. And they did this shit. Says it all. So, again, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you, everyone, for being here. It has been an absolute pleasure to spend my evening with you guys. Again, I'll be back here Friday. I will catch you all then. Y'all have a great rest of the evening.